I'm all set to do this simple everyday makeup look using drugstore makeup. I've already got my moisturizer on. I'm gonna go straight in with my primer. So I'm using the Rimmel Matte Primer. This is All Day Shine Control, which is what I love. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. And do you know what I really like about this primer is it's not that pasty kind of primer, you know, where it just kind of like gets all bitty. So it's like a really nice smooth kind of lotion. And I'm just gonna smooth this all over. And it seems really hydrating too. So it doesn't like fully kind of like, it does matte your skin, but I mean, it just doesn't look like super, super matte. So I am gonna then move on to the next step, which is the Rimmel Multitasker Concealer. This seems a tiny bit light for me, but I'm using a slightly warmer foundation, so it should be okay because the next shade darker to this was a little bit too dark. This is 060 Nude. And by the way, guys, how are we liking the new setup? While I'm putting this on, I'm just gonna talk to you about this. I am really, really excited about this. This is something that, you know, I was really looking forward to in 2024 to just bring you a more upgraded version. This is all thanks to you guys. So I just wanna say thank you so much for your support because without you, I wouldn't be able to actually do this. And it's because of you guys following this channel and your support and your engagement and just the support really, just how much you guys, we've created such an amazing community here and it's just a nice community. And because of you guys, I've managed to kind of upgrade some equipment, the studio in general, and I'm really excited about it. How are we liking it? I'm loving it. I really do hope you do too. So yeah, I am gonna go ahead and start with my concealer. I'm gonna apply it on my eyelids. Don't forget, I am using a warm foundation in a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and buff this into my eyelids. And while I do this, there's a quick little message for you. If you feel like you're getting value from this video, then please do hit the thumbs up button because it genuinely does help my channel out a lot and I truly appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button and also the bell button so that you're notified every time a new video drops. And don't forget, I'm on all of the social media platforms listed below. They're also in my description along with links and also some amazing discount codes from my favorite makeup brands just for you. Thank you so much for your support. Now let's get back to this video. Now I've got my powder puff and I'm going into my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Banana Powder and I'm just gonna press this on. And then I'm just dusting off this powder. Now I'm also gonna apply my concealer here. I'm just gonna do my whole base because it's a really simple look, but it's just nice that you can actually create this using drugstore makeup. It's really important to understand that sometimes the packaging and the brand name can really kind of mislead us because sometimes the product is actually very, very good, but you just kind of assume it's not good because maybe it's drugstore and it's kind of just what we're kind of told through social media and everything, but indirectly. But I do feel that there are some amazing products from drugstore brands and I'm really starting to kind of like, delve a bit deeper into that side. And I'm still loving my luxury high-end makeup. Don't get me wrong, there's gonna be a good mix on here, but I am starting to kind of incorporate a bit more drugstore so it can really appeal to everyone out there. I am just gonna apply a little bit here. I always do this because I have a little bit of darkness on the corners of my mouth and I feel like this really helps to kind of lift it as well. Okay, so I've got my sponge and I am just gonna buff this on the under eye area. So it's actually not that super light for me, this concealer. Like now that I'm putting it on, like I just swatched it in the store when I picked it up, and I felt like maybe it was a little bit too light, but actually I feel like this is a pretty good color for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my foundation now. I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless 16-hour Oil Control SPF 22. This is 332, and I love how warm this is. It actually says that it's for normal to oily skin. So I don't know how good this is gonna be on dry skin because obviously it does say that it's more of a matte look. So Just bear that in mind. But then again, there are other kind of foundations that they do, which I'm going to be trying soon. So anyway, I don't know why I was like that. I'm going to put this on the back of my hand. And yeah, this, like I said, is a little bit warmer, but I actually want that because my face is a lot lighter than the rest of my body, as you can probably tell. So it's always a case of trying to warm up my face. So I'm just going to go into this on the back of my hand. I'm going to slowly start buffing this into the skin. I do really like this color. I just feel like it's a nice warm color, you know? It doesn't look orange. It's just adding that kind of nice vibrancy back into my skin because my face is so white. Like, I feel like the minute I put this on, my forehead just looks like the rest of my body. Let's go ahead and apply this everywhere. I have got the most humongous spot, guys. Right there, it is not ready to leave. It's settled in nicely. It is more of a, I would say it's more of a kind of like a Mount Everest style spot. It's like really hurting. It's so painful. And it's in a really awkward area, like right there. And I just feel like it's just not ready. But it's like, when are you gonna be ready? It's just so big. And when you are ready, like, how am I even gonna get you out? Like, it just doesn't seem to want to go. I've had it for like 3 days now. I've been putting the drying lotion on it. Still not interested. It's just not having it. I do really like this foundation. It's a very kind of like everyday foundation. Oh my God, look at all this redness go. And it just kind of evens out my skin tone. I think it's the color. It's the color that's really got me. I really do like the color. This is such a nice foundation, guys. It's really nice. I'm loving this. Okay, let's go in with the powder. So I've got my puff. Gonna put some powder on the puff, and then I'm just gonna like do the under eyes and just get that done. Now I'm only gonna really put the powder where I don't want any creasing later on, because I don't really want it to be super matte, because I want it to be kind of like daytime simple makeup. But I am gonna show you a trick later that's gonna help to really kind of like make it look a bit more kind of simple and daytime and not so super matte. But it's really important that we're doing this technique so that it does actually stay all day. I'm just gonna dust off wherever that powder is. I've got my Real Technique setting brush. Let's just take off this powder. I don't know about you, but when you do apply your powder in this way, which is basically pressing it onto your foundation, there are some products, like some foundation brands, not so much the brand, but the actual product, like some foundations or some concealers that just don't work very well with the powder, in the sense of like when you want to press it, it doesn't necessarily sit well with that specific concealer or foundation. I have found that with certain products, and I can usually tell the minute I've kind of dusted that powder away, and I feel like this dusts away nicely. I'm not getting that whole feeling and that look that it's not gonna sit well. I'm gonna do my brows now, and I'm gonna use my Rimmel Brow This Way pencil, and this is in the shade dark brown. I bought a few things, and I picked up a few different brow pencils, and I really like this one. This actually is a brow pencil that I used to use back in the day. You know, when like, you know, when you were younger and you're not really buying high-end beauty brands. And I used to use Rimmel quite a lot when I first started using makeup. And I remember using their brow pencils, and they were so good, because obviously back then it was like not really, there wasn't really kind of like brow pomade and stuff like that. But I feel like we've kind of gone back to pencils now. So I've got a little mirror in front of me. I'm just gonna like shape my brows, and I'm gonna use the lid, because it has a little brush there, to just kind of like brush my brows, what little I have of them. I'm just looking at my foundation. I really like it. I really like it, guys. Okay, let's go. So I'm gonna just shape my brows. I'm just kind of like pressing very lightly, because I don't want a super heavy brow, which is really difficult for me to achieve, because even though I have quite thin brows, because obviously it doesn't grow back in certain areas, so my brows are quite thin, but my hair is very thick. So where I do have the hair, it's like a lot of it. And to thicken, and because my hair is black, like to thicken the brow, you've got to really fill in the area where there is no hair. And the minute I do that, everything looks very block type. So it is kind of difficult to make them look super natural, because if I had kind of like light like brown hair, then it would be a lot easier, and not so thick hair, it would be a lot easier. But yeah, I'm just gonna do what I can. I have got another brow pencil that I want to use, like I'm using two, only because like I said, like I need to kind of like add the depth, but then also make sure that it isn't like super, super dark either. So I'm gonna just shape them with this pencil. Okay, so now I'm gonna use this other pencil, which is the Rimmel Brow Micro, or Pro Micro. This is in the shade Soft Brown, so this is a lot lighter. And with this one, I feel like I can just kind of like draw in the kind of hair strokes, so it doesn't look so blocky, and then also just kind of fill in any areas that need it. That is as natural as I'm gonna get them. I would love to be able to get them a little bit more natural than that, but honestly, due to the hair thickness, color, density of it, so I can't really. So anyway, now I'm going to be using my Rimmel Scandal Eyes Exaggerate Eye Definer in Chocolate Brown 002. So I really like these pencils. I've used them before and they're just so easy to use. So I'm just using an eye smudger brush. You can use any one. This is my Charlotte Tilbury eye smudger brush. And what I'm going to do is just add a little bit into the lash line, but near the end of the lash line. So I'm just literally drawing little dots. Don't draw a flick, get your brush and then kind of like flick inwards. You can drag it along all the way across if you want to. I'm just going to take it about 3/4 of the way. Okay, now that we've blended it inwards, you can use your finger as well if you want to really kind of lighten it a bit. Don't be afraid to experiment. Now, whatever's left here on the end, I'm now going to just flick it up very slightly. Not a lot, because I don't want it obvious. It's a simple everyday look, but I just still want some kind of, you know, like I want the eyes to be enhanced a little bit. And hopefully you can see that this has added a tiny bit of a lift and it's just not looking so kind of, and that one obviously has nothing. So same thing over here. Honestly, the smallest amount, just a few little dots into the lashes. Flick inwards, drag it across if you want to, just so it doesn't look so disconnected. I like to use the finger sometimes just because it kind of softens it and takes off anything extra. So that I feel like is enough for an everyday look. Okay, let's go in with mascara. I'm using my Max Factor False Lash Effect. This is in Deep Raven Black. Guys, I used to use this. I remember when I used to use more drugstore products when I first started using makeup, and I remember using this mascara and this being such a kind of trending mascara because it was like one of the best mascaras around, and I haven't used it in so long, so I'm really excited to try this and see, not kind of see because obviously I have used it before, but kind of just remind myself as to why it was so good, and is it really that good now that we've got so many other mascaras out, because this has been around for a while. But I do remember thinking this is such an amazing mascara. So I'm just going to go ahead, look down into the mirror, and then just kind of go from the root and drag it upwards. I mean, it's definitely not as much product as what you get off of wands today. Like, I just feel like you get a lot more product on the lash from mascaras today. And that isn't a bad thing to do with this, because I actually think it's quite nice that it just keeps, it's not clumpy at all. And it just keeps your lashes almost looking like you haven't got anything on, but it just enhances them. It does what mascara is meant to do, just enhance your lashes. It's nothing crazy. There's no clumpiness. It's not like, wow, look at that length. It's so unreal. It's just kind of really just very lightly coating them. Like, it actually just looks like my lashes, but a little better. And I guess when you apply another coat, it's going to thicken it up a little bit. But I like how natural it is, actually. It's a good everyday mascara. That's 2 coats. I quite like that. It's definitely an everyday simple mascara. I'm just gonna warm up my face a little bit, and I just wanna sculpt it a little bit. So I'm gonna use my L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour Fresh Wear Matte Bronzer. This is in 400 Tan. There you go, it's quite a nice color. It's quite warming. I'm gonna go in with my brush, and I'm not too sure what the kind of transfer pigment is like, but we're gonna have a go and see what this is like. So, ooh, I do like this. It's nice. So I'm gonna go from the top of the ear, and you're just gonna basically pat or dab, whatever you want to call it, buff. And then when you get to the end of it, you're then gonna sweep across. So what you're doing is packing on the color and then kind of softening it. I'm just gonna take this around the perimeter of my face just to warm up the face a bit, give it some dimension. Do you wanna know something funny? So I'm looking in like the camera, and obviously I've been like at the gym with the PT for about like, what, 7-8 months now? 7 months, I think. And you know, he's playing the long game with us, where he's like, you know, if you want to like lose weight just like that, it's just not, you're not with the right person. If you want something which is sustainable and like long term, where you're going to get stronger and eventually, you know, like, you know, you'll reduce your fat and gain muscle, do it my way, which I much prefer to do, and I'm loving it and I'm enjoying it, and I'm not so kind of obsessed with the fat loss. Well, I still am, I guess. I just still want to lose some more fat, but I'm enjoying it. I'm feeling stronger. So as I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, whoa, like I can see a little bit more definition in my arms. Yeah, I was just feeling myself for a sec there, guys. I feel like this is a nice kind of warmth that we've got. I am going to take my Fenty 200 brush and just kind of like sculpt the nose a little bit. So I'm using this same bronzer, by the way, but I do like a good nose sculpt. I just usually do a little V at the bottom here and then just cut it off there, because I actually do like that whole button nose look, because it doesn't look overly button on me. I feel like, you know, it doesn't necessarily suit everyone, and also some people go a bit OTT with it, but you know, I think I've been alright about it. Okay, I'm using my NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte Blush in Summer Breeze. I really do like this blush, it's so nice. I'm using my Sigma F12 brush. I like to just dab on the hand or just tap it off, because it can be a bit much otherwise. Just applying this to the tops of the cheekbones. Okay, so I'm going to apply some lip pencil. I'm using a Max Factor Color Elixir lip pencil in 010 Desert Sand. And I'm just going to very lightly line my lips, but super light, so I don't want a full strong lip line. I just want to kind of almost like feather it in a little bit. I always start in the kind of peaks of the lip line and then kind of blend in with my finger. I just kind of do bit by bit. It helps me to get a better idea of what kind of shape I'm creating. I do like this lip liner because firstly it stays put, it's quite a sharp pencil, and also the colour is almost like a fleshy colour. Fleshy colour is going to be different for each person, right? Because it all depends on your skin tone too. So for someone like me with my skin colour, like a bit more tanned, a fleshy colour is going to probably be a bit deeper than someone who has much paler skin. So just bear that in mind. If you have olive or tan skin like me, then this is going to be a really good colour for you. Wow, I'm actually pretty in love with this pencil. It's actually such a nice colour. Okay, let's go to the lipstick. This is the Maybelline Superstay Ink Lipstick. The shade is 100 Charmed, and I'm just gonna put a little bit there. I really liked this when I was swatching it in the store because it's like super peachy, and I love peachy lips. So you see how I put a little bit there? And then I'm using my finger. You don't need to put a whole ton of liquid lipstick on. Honestly, sometimes you need the smallest amount. How nice is that lip? You can darken the lip line a little bit after if you want, which I think I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm pretty obsessed with this lip color. And that, my beautiful people, is the everyday simple makeup look using drugstore makeup. How cool is that? And I absolutely really love this whole look. It doesn't look overly heavy. Even if I'm looking like close up in the mirror, I'm telling you, it does not look heavy. Like, this foundation is amazing. It's such a good foundation. The concealer combined with the foundation, the powder, the primer, everything that I've put on my skin for the base is so nice. I personally feel like it makes my skin look better. It also doesn't look overly cakey, so I'm really happy about that, because sometimes I worry that when you're using certain brands that maybe you're not used to, or especially when it says kind of like all day wear, long wear, etc., it can end up looking a little bit kind of cakey on the skin, and I feel like this doesn't. It's actually really, really, really nice on the skin. So I would highly suggest trying some of these products out. There's one last thing that I wanted to show you, because remember I said to you I'm going to show you how you can make it look a little bit more kind of like natural looking. We're going to use the NYX Dewy Finish Long Lasting Setting Spray. I don't really use setting sprays to set because I don't feel like they are strong enough to be able to set makeup. But what I do like doing is using it to just calm down the powder a little bit and just bring that kind of like matte finish just a notch down, so it allows your skin to look a bit more healthy, because sometimes when you do have slightly dehydrated skin or dry skin, it can end up looking not that great. So what I want to do is spray this. There's two ways you can do this, by the way. You can either spray this all over, or you can spray it on your sponge. So what I'm going to do is spray it on my sponge, and I am just gonna spray it like that. You want to make sure there's not crazy amount on there, so I'm just testing it on the back of my hand. And now I'm going to just press it, the back of the sponge, all over my skin. Keep applying it if you need to, like more to the sponge. This is going to really help to kind of like diffuse that kind of extra powder that you may have sitting on the skin that can end up making your skin look powdery. So this is a really good way to just bring in a little bit of glow, but you still have the products actually doing what they're meant to do, which is setting your makeup. But what you've done is you've introduced a little bit of kind of natural glow coming through without having to rely on extra makeup, like highlighter and everything. So this just kind of helps to calm it down a little bit, you know? And that is done. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I really do hope this is something you're going to try yourself. Personally, I'm loving all these products I used. A couple of them are new, I haven't used them before. Some of them are products that I have used before, maybe a different shade of it, but I'm really, really loving this stuff. I'm absolutely obsessed with the skin and the lips. Definitely something I would recommend you guys trying out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm sending you loads of love wherever you are in the world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments box below. And don't forget, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care and I'll see you soon.